Welcome back everyone to yet another episode, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at a pair of Chelsea boots by Handpainted shoes. Coming up. We are back and I hope everybody is doing well. Unfortunately, for the last 2 weeks I had been struggling a bit with everybody's favorite new virus, but now I'm back in action and I'm here to talk about more shoes and specifically more Chelsea boots. Everybody loves Chelsea boots, including me, and I've been trying to expand my collection. And it's also very interesting to try new brands and bring you new brands as a review and a showcase that you don't really necessarily see or hear out there very much, and to see what their qualities and how it compares to the brands you're more aware of and you have as a standard of quality. So today we'll be talking about Handpainted shoes, which is a relatively new brand that comes from Spain, pretty much made up from two brothers, Javier and Enrique. And they have their base operations in Spain. They run a very small family business, and even though the brand is relatively new, their whole family has been working in the shoemaking world for many generations, so they do have some experience. And now their shoes are mostly Goodyear Welted, as far as I'm aware, and they're made in the shoemaking hub of Spain, which is Almansa. Some of them are also made by Bespoke Factory, which you may or may have not heard a lot about on the internet or various blogs or various videos. And I was in talks with them over the course of last year, at the end of 2021, about doing some kind of review for them. And I already have a lot of shoes, so I was more interested in doing the actual review and the showcase, but they were insisting that I also keep the shoes and actually wear them, which I'm going to do when the weather cools down a bit here in Italy again. It is very interesting that this particular business has a very small capsule collection of shoes and styles, and their main focus is not so much the actual models, but the offering of a special hand-painted and hand-dyed patinas. So for example, like this one, as you will see in the close-up that we will do. And they can even do custom ones. They have more adventurous ones, some bold ones like a camel. So generally that's their main unique selling point, right? But in any case, I had an interesting experience with them, and I think that you will be interesting to see it as well. So what we will do is, as always, we're going to go on the close-up. We're going to talk about all the details of the shoe, of the color, the leather, the sole, and the last and everything. And at the end, as we finish up, we're going to talk about availability, about sizing, about styling, about my general thoughts. And we will finish up the video with probably a very horrific dad joke of the week. So let's get with a close-up and we'll see you on the other side. Let's begin by talking about the box briefly. So the box is quite generous, has a big size, so you are sure that the shoes will fit in here. And it comes, of course, with a company logo on the top and the old, essential details that you need at the side, like size, brand, color, etc. All the essential details you need if you're storing your shoes in the boxes. Makes it easier for you to just reach out and get them, right? Once you open the box, there is an additional sort of paper material that covers everything that I have already removed. And on top of that, you also get a small card with a sort of like a seal of approval and authenticity, but nice touch. You also get a shoehorn. I have about 23 billion shoehorns right now, and maybe I should make a video about all of them now. Just something feels a bit plastic, branded. It does the job. It's pretty nice. So if you don't have any, it helps. Then you got two shoe bags. They are very large in a black color, and unfortunately they are. It feels like nylon or something synthetic, which I don't have a problem as long as it does their job. But it does feel a bit cheaper in comparison. But then again, if it's a way to save cost, it's totally fine. I mean, I don't care about the shoe bags anyways at this price point. You get 2 of them. Of course, you get a divider for the shoes and some, you know, sort of same color tissue paper for protection. They also came in a nice cardboard box in total. Everything was good. The unboxing experience was fine for the price point. But let's move on to the actual boots. And here are the boots. As you can see, they are generally your classic Chelsea boots, so a bit of a change from last week's. But it's the perfect example of what a classic Chelsea boot looks like. For example, we have, of course, the plain toe here. There is no details, there's no broguing, there's nothing. It's just the shoe. And at the side, you've got this classic U style and U look elastic compartment that pretty much what it does is it stretches, so you don't really need laces. You've got a pull tab on the back, which is quite long, I would say. It's a bit annoying. You can always remove it if you know, they get tangled in your trousers. And that's about it. The way Chelsea boots work is that you've got pretty much 2 pieces of leather and a back seam, and you connect them usually here at the side, on each side. And you can see the back seam here. And in some cases, it's a bit more difficult, is when you have an actual hole cut boot and there is no side compartment and everything is just stitched together with the back seam. And that's about it. The classic Chelsea boot, the unique features it has is of course the hand-painted patina, which we will talk about, and a bit of difference in the sole, which I will also discuss. I would say that let's begin by taking a look at the actual shape. Because it is always important, and the shape is, it depends which angle you look at it from. This is quite a classic Chelsea boot. It's not so contemporary, so the last is not very round. I would say it leans towards a bit of almond shape, and you can see it from the other side as well. You can see that this is not a round last, and it looks definitely more modern. From certain angles, especially during photography, if you look at the specific angles or the shape of the middle part of the shoe, it can appear a little flatter, I would say. But when I tried them on and I was looking down at my feet, I didn't feel that it doesn't look modern at all. And also the patina helps, and the burnishing helps give a nice overall aesthetic. So I don't know, I don't remember if the last has a specific name, but you can take a look at it here. I mean, it's nice and modern. The patina is sort of like a, I would say, wooden patina. It's a lot of, not stripes, maybe you could say stripes, and lines that go all the way, you know, parallel to each other. Some of them are darker, some of them are, you know, brighter, lighter, and they alternate and they create this particular style, you would say, which is, it looks quite woody. I never had something like this before. I'm still trying to figure out if I like it or not, but Peter Hand has a lot of different patinas and a lot of choices, and you can even create your own custom one. And let's move on to the sole. But before we do that, I mean, this is a rubber sole, and the welt, it's a pretty good job. This is a Goodyear Welted boot, and so it's resolvable. The welt, from looking around, no threads missing. No, you can see, or you can barely see the welt joint. Everything looks clean. It's pretty good. And at the bottom we have what is pretty much a leather sole, as you can see, with a bit more orangish tint, and it has some studs that are a bit put inside the leather, as you can see here in this dynite style of studs. It looks okay. There is just a very slight bevel, and the only aesthetic issue that I found, and not that it matters, is that some of the orange paint that is here, there are some flakes and some residue that is inside the ridges. I'm not sure why, but probably when they were, sort of drilling the holes, there was some excess residue that just got left over there. That doesn't matter, right? What are you gonna do? Look at your soles all day? Overall, good. It feels like a sturdy boot, and it's quite lightweight too, which is good. That's one more reason that I like leather soles more. Now, when I take a closer look at the boot, since now that I've been doing bespoke shoemaking courses, and I also took leatherworking courses before, I've started to see a bit more detail, so eventually in the future we can talk a bit more in depth about certain elements of leatherworking, stitching, and details that most people don't talk about. It is extremely hard to show you on camera, but for example, at this seam here, it feels a bit bulkier, and there could be a possibility, or not, there could be a possibility that when you skive the leather, when you join two pieces of leather together, you remove the excess material so they look seamlessly, that they look flat. And this particular one maybe was not skived so much. Not that it matters, it's not something that you will see. And for example, when you're doing stitching all over, at the end you want to lock the stitch. So you do what is called a back stitch. So you go forward and then you go back and back, because this connects the two stitches together and locks them in place. What that means though is that at certain places in your stitches you will see a double stitch, so double thread. And if it's not done correctly, or you do it by hand and you don't know what you're doing, for example, it will appear bulky or just pop out, or nobody hammered it, etc. And there are very few places that you can see it on this boot, and this doesn't mean that the boot is bad or anything. It just means that I am able to look at pieces of leather and leatherworking and models and boots and shoes and goods in a slightly different perspective, and I can now spot little things that maybe could be improved, or if they correspond to their price point. So there's nothing to say that this particular boot is bad. Everything looks pretty nice and clean for the price point, and you will be happy with the overall quality, I would say. Let me show you a look again of the top view. Here you can see the last, you can maybe see what I mean by flat a bit, because it doesn't curve so much around these areas, but overall, it's quite nice. It has a nice profile. It has a more bold patina, and it's something that you will probably enjoy wearing a bit with more casual outfits. And I think I've covered everything I could about this particular boot, and I think it's time to move on. So that was it about the boots themselves. I think you got a fairly good idea of how they look and how they feel in the close-up, and my general thoughts about them. So instead of me talking about everything again and again, well, let's get down to business and talk about the actual interesting things. So first of all, let's talk about availability. As I mentioned, Peter Hans Shoes has their own website and their own little stock, and depending on the patina you choose, this can take just a couple of weeks, I would say, a max, for them to paint them and have them prepared for you. Shipping was really quick as well, and I suppose also it depends on what kind of patina you want and what kind of work needs to be done. But generally, I would, for what is generally a made-to-order system, it's a very quick turnaround, and that's pretty good. So the only place that you would find these particular models would be through their own website. So that's the availability. I know they ship worldwide. I think for some international orders there is a small shipping fee, which brings us to the next point, which is pricing. So as far as I'm aware, at least in Europe, with VAT included, these will cost you 345 euros. And the normalized equivalent for US dollars, which has a currency selector in the website, I think it's 375 plus shipping if there is any of that, which is, it is still a very competitive range, and it will be a little difficult for someone just coming in from more established known brands to say, you know what, I want to try this brand. So this is more for people that are looking for either custom or very unique and special patinas, or that want to support a small business, and generally that maybe they have tried everything or they just want to try something else. Because in essence, these are good boots. They are good everyday boots. They will not blow you, they will not blow your mind off and out of the water, but they're still good looking. They're modern. The patina is interesting, or at least the ones you will choose. The leather feels supple, and as we will talk about right now, the fit is actually pretty decent. So these are a size UK 8, or equivalent to US 9D, and that's my general size in shoes such as Carmina Rain, St. Crispin's, I use Allen Edmonds like the 65 last, and they fit quite true to size with regular socks, thinner socks. I even tried them on a bit more wintry time with a bit thicker ones, and they were quite comfortable, snug, but not bothersome. Of course, I reserve to see how they're gonna age and how they're gonna feel after breaking in. But generally, putting them on, walking around, it was pretty comfortable without any problem. So if you ask me for advice right now, I would tell you that the UK 8 or 9D, pretty much your true to size in dress shoes and boots, would be the one to go for if you have I would say, regular sized foot. Of course, always reach out to the retailer individually and just ask them about each case, because this is still an expensive investment for most people out there. And that's about the sizing as well. As for the styling, I mean, as you see here, I'm in the conditions of just my house, and I'm just wearing, I would say, normal clothes. You will see that it matches quite well. In essence, this is a dark to mid brown boot, which is quite versatile already, because you can wear it with most colors that are light, especially light gray, stone, olive, and some certain shades of brown, and of course everybody's favorite, which is navy or shades of blue. It matches really well, and especially with jeans, I think this is a good boot to just wear casually with jeans and such clothes or chinos. They can be dressy enough to pull off with some separates, or a more casual, just normal suit day, maybe without any tie or something special. But overall, I would say it's a bit geared more to the more modern man that has a more casual core collection wardrobe. Now that's pretty much it. I don't have much to say. It's hard for me to just recommend you to just go out there and buy this. However, if you do so, I think you will be satisfied. The color is okay, the fit was good for me, the quality seems nice, the leather seems good, everything checks out. So if you end up wanting to support a small business, or want to try a more special patina, or just a different brand, I mean, I can vouch for them, especially the owners. They're quite passionate about what they do, and they're very friendly. And what's most important for me was that they were receptive to certain criticism, or well, not exactly criticism, but the little pointers that I made about the little stitches or the sole at the bottom. They did not complain about it or say, oh, you don't like our products, or we won't speak to you again, or whatever. Instead, he said thank you. The person I was speaking with, they said thank you, we will look it up and see if we can improve it, or help us understand better from the consumer side, but also by someone who's a bit more of an expert into actual shoemaking. So that's really good, and something that should be more prevalent in our very difficult and challenging industry. In any case, I've bubbled enough. I think you will be generally happy if you invest in a pair of Peter Hans shoes, and let me know in the comments if you like them, or if you have tried them, or what you're curious about, or if you're thinking about trying them. And of course, if you are new to the channel, or you still haven't done this, please leave a like, press the notification button, and subscribe, as it helps me bring you more content, and it makes me keep going on. And I really have a lot of shoes and clothes to talk about in next future videos, as you will see. So until next time, I will say hi and bye from wherever you are in the world are watching, and make sure to stay for a few more seconds to see and hear the bad dad joke of the week. Well, last week I told my wife that men are like wine. We just get better with age. So you know what she did? The next day she put me in the cellar. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this bad dad joke, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.